mistakes can happen. Let's try that again. There, I thought I could drive without looking.
Carl Faubert sought information for a living. That is to say that ever since he returned from Korea, after having served with the armed forces, he had been working as a private investigator in Montreal. William Hamilton, a rich industrialist, had gotten in touch with him regarding a simple vandalism issue. Nothing to write home about. Not worth hiring a private eye either, just so he can drive for hours on rough roads. But that's how it had always been.
Right.
The client pays, Carl gets it done. They had set up to meet at the general store, his client's business. Well, actually, the entire village had William Hamilton's name written all over it.
Probably hear my parents that playing with their toys right now.
When the roads were bad, muddy, or snowed in, it was customary around these parts to close them off. But it was also customary to ignore those signs entirely and drive there anyway.
You guys hear that wolf? Oh, that was stupid.
Hamilton never mentioned a road blocking barrier. Why was it needed here in the back of Beyond? That would, however, be a mystery for another day. Carl had waited long enough for someone to come and raise it. Hamilton is waiting for Carl in the general store. It was time for him to get down to business.
That was better.
William Hamilton enjoyed a lavish country house built in the very heart of the northern forests, not too far from here. The local populace was divided when it came to the affluent men. Some saw a wealthy philanthropist dedicated to improving the region's economy. Others an aging Englishman who would do anything to further his fortunes. And those ones hated him enough to go on about scheming against him. Hamilton had recently acquired a few local businesses, but the last straw was the reopening of a mine, which gave rise to a wave of protests and threats from the Cree people. Given these circumstances, Carl reckoned that a good number of people must be feeling compelled to oppose Hamilton in one way or another. So far, only the industrialist's house had been a target, but soon enough, Carl thought, the target would become the man himself.
So I thought about turning off the audio and the subtitles, but I don't know whether that would be as interesting to watch. It's not like it's going to make any difference to the time. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. A few hours later. Love a bit of SpongeBob.
Carl needed to get out of there. The cold and the pain required urgent care.
So do you guys think that noise was the tires? So I think it might have been something else. You've played this game and you've seen my run before, you'll know what I mean.
The driver had taken off. It was still best to check it out and leave nothing to chance.
That Dropbox?
Carl needed help.
It's a bit slow, but it's okay.
This deep in the country, his last hope was to find an abandoned garage or a farm by the roadside. His life depended on it.
So that was an example of me jumping too much because I staggered the character a little bit there. I need to pick up these chains.
Even better than he had hoped. Carl Faubert
Consumable first aid.
had succeeded once more and was now on his way to new
You can't
adventures.
progress if you don't heal. Because, yeah, I've just been in a car crash. Alright, we've got to put the chains on. Plus 15, okay, so I'm still saving a bit of time. I don't actually have control when I'm backing out of the ditch though.
Spread out on a few acres of
Welcome to
untouched
Manastan.
forest, bellowing caribou, everlasting snow, and undefiled lakes. The Manastan region was no tourist hub. It was said to have been populated for millennia by Cree people, and ever since the industrial era, by the metal mining industry.
So we'll be coming this way in a bit. That
The truck was running on
post
fumes.
box
Good thing that the general store was
is
close
where I
by.
just got stuck. Taken the graphics down at all for this run. I do normally on PC. Might save the loading times, but have to try that next. Oh, staggered myself.
Carl had no trouble recognizing his employer. He had been killed. There was no need to be a detective to figure that out. But only a detective could have noticed that the killer had to have been very close. That the fatal blow had been given before the victim even realized.
I always think I can run indoors.
Maintaining his composure, Carl recalled something from his military training. Wolves always stay away from populated areas. Wait, was it about bears?
So I just grab some pliers. I'm going to use them to fix the generator. To power the fuel pump. And then turn them on. Now we're going to pick up what Hamilton left for us.
The murder weapon. What was that doing there, Carl wondered. Hamilton must have been determined to keep some information secret to post this key. James got unlucky. Everything made sense now. Poor Hamilton's denunciation was interrupted. He figured it would be best to lock everything up and send the key to his correspondent, who would receive the box later on. Clever, but not enough. That's what happens to ordinary people playing spy. Carl didn't know where to go, but he had to find help, find a way to contact authorities. He had to search the village. felt that the store and its
Having a
surroundings
good old
still
chat.
held their secrets, and he didn't like to
Try
miss
going a
out.
little bit further forward. See if that makes any difference.
Carl wondered what the hell could that thing be. It looked like a man fossilized in ice. All of a sudden, Carl felt like he was pulled inside a world
So if you're
of
just joining,
dreams, a cold, unknown dimension. Somehow, self-control was slipping from his
this
grasp.
isn't a speedrun by parrots, but they are present.
What could these engraved numbers mean? A fresh path suddenly appeared before Carl.
I'm getting pretty excited about my room. Oh, come on. There we go.
Carl had that feeling you get when you immerse your frozen hands in hot water. What happened? Now at least
sorry, I'm
he knew
struggling
who
a
the
bit on some
unfortunate
rocks
man
here.
petrified in ice was. Jill Lachau, the general store's manager himself.
Probably slightly further forward. Lost a bit of time. Need to get the birdie webcam going. In fact, Kitsan got me a little birdie webcam, so I'll have to see if I can get it to work.
The air was freezing, right down to the bone. Carl felt a cool, tingling sensation in his back. Another vision took over
Right, so we're in
him.
second vision again.
Something was hidden under the stairs.
Oh, I missed the trigger of that. It's just on the top of the stairs. And gotta wait.
The man grabbed his rifle. Carl felt a sense of dread in him.
There we go. Not quite. I think it prefers it. Yeah, it prefers it when I'm on the stairs there. And there we go.
Perhaps their spousal relationship had been
So that was
cooling
a bit
down
slow.
lately. It seemed like secrecy was commonplace in this house.
Kind of have to look in the right place in these sections. Following the evidence.
The vision's veil was lifted, and he was back to reality. A reality in which Giselle, Jill's loving spouse, was motionless, frozen in ice.
Do you want a burb cam? Right. Let's look where I'm going this time. There we go. Right, so we're going to the doctor's clinic now. Gonna do a little bit of driving that's really quite hard on the PC version, but easier for me on PS4, I guess it could be because I'm used to the control. Growing up a Sony girl. So, I'm gonna swing around here. And through this gate.
Carl felt that the store and its surroundings still
Over to
held
the
their
bridge.
secrets,
That was
and
quite
he
good.
didn't like to miss out.
Here's the bridge. Yeah, actually, talking about bird cam, I need to get my bird cam working. I need to get my actual webcam working. It won't work with the game capture card for some reason. So I need to figure out why they're conflicting. But I am able to do PC runs with my webcam, so that's fun. Oh, I've gone a little bit too far and I'm out the outhouse. I was just having too much of a nice drive. I got a key, and I'm going to look at one photo in here.
In spite of Dr. Beaupre's goodwill, the place didn't look much like a physician's office. It could easily be mistaken for
Just
a
waiting
sewing
for the
shop.
audio. There
A
we go.
good doctor, flanked by his beautiful spouse.
That's because she was in the car at the
Pure
beginning.
happiness, captured on cardstock.
So,
Carl recognized this woman's soulful
my
eyes.
truck's down there.
Was it Dr. Beaupre who had hit him head-on at the village border?
So I would like to try, actually, turning off the audio at some point. And seeing if you don't actually have to wait, because you're not waiting for the audio cue. Unless you have to wait without knowing anything, and you just don't have a cue. Which would be, pretty difficult. Probably just become spamming the button until you give access the item. Right, so we're coming up to House of the Picture. I'm gonna try and just go straight up to the door. I didn't mean to go that quite close up to the door. Let's hope I can still get in. I can't get round there. What have I done? Sometimes you just do silly things.
The place looked more like a
For the sake of
pigsty
saving
than a
time.
house. A heavy stench
Right.
of curdled milk, cheap alcohol, and
Get me
boiled
some cheap
cauliflower
alcohol.
filled the air.
And
Carl held in his hand some awful sugar alcohol, but rather than drink it, he told himself it could be useful. He only had to be wary.
so reversing seems fairly slow. But it does stop me from skidding on that bit, because sometimes I back out of there way too quick and do a little skid on the ice. That was good fun. I think I have some silly clips from tonight's stream so far. Oh, that's good. Right, so I can drive straight up to the door without caring on this section because I'm going to do a load save. Just skips a bit of audio. If I do it quick enough. So right up to the door. Get ready to get shot.
Whoa, mon bonhomme.
And load. Now it's fairly slow on PS4, but it still cuts out some dialogue. So it's going to load me facing the door again, so I'm going to have to quickly turn around and then interact with Rosaire. Loading, loading, loading. Right, so continue and spin. Oh, I'm right next to him. I did not expect that.
Si tu veux du linge chaud, parce que t'es habillé comme un gars de la ville, je dirais pas non à une bonne bouteille de Caribou. Puis tu pigeras ce que tu voudras parmi mes guenilles.
You jump scared me, Rosa. Oh, that's actually amazing.
Ah, quand on cherche, on
Brilliant.
trouve. Parce que je t'aime bien, à cette heure, je vais te dire quelque chose. Tu fais bien de prendre ma pénice. Parce que par là-bas, tu vas rencontrer le vrai froid.
I'm so sorry that you tuned in and immediately got shot. Right, gonna take this really cozy coat. Oh!
The Polaroid,
Oh, wow.
Carl's long-standing and faithful ally, has seen his share of husbands caught red-handed
So-
cheating. There's always something out there waiting to be snapped
I did
away.
something really strange then. I have to look into that. It appeared that, for one, I was in a different place when I exited the cutscene,
Health
which I've
is
not
what
seen
mattered
before.
most, and the old
And
man's
for
coat made sure
two,
of that.
I didn't have to
However, Carl
interrupt
still felt that he would miss out on precious knowledge if he left this place.
Carl. I didn't have to interrupt Carl. No, I didn't have to interrupt the moment where he sort of rubs his hand when he gets into the coat, so that was interesting. Could have been the moment at which I did the save, perhaps. I nearly forgot that I was going to go and see Lamont. This is my second run because my first run died very dramatically, and that wasn't I died. I backed into a lamppost and couldn't move my car. So that was pretty great actually. I'll put that clip up later. So here we are on the second attempt. Where I jump scared myself by standing next to Rosera, apparently. I think maybe I did get the Polaroid out quicker. Yeah, that could be the case. Whoa. This music's so dramatic. These bits I find quite intense. Oh no. Okay, no, we're good, we're good. Sometimes I think it expects me to stare for longer. So this is the third of 4... Oh, what's going on? This is the third of 4 scenes. I'm gonna look up here at this pocket. Yeah, I'm sure there is a quicker way to jump that fence.
Something very important must have been in there for the man to take such time and effort to hide it. But Carl didn't know how to reach
I need to also stop pressing crouch.
Carl hadn't lived up to his good finder reputation. He still hadn't found any of the wealth contained in Lamotte's lands.
Oh, got a gold split. Probably gonna ruin it now with terrible driving. I wonder how far I could drive backwards. Just maybe I could just drive backwards to the ice cave. Sneaky. Carl is up to something like those sneaky Argonians in Oblivion. So you may hear my parrots there. They've joined for today's stream. And we do also have a new GIF, which I will show show you all later. Maybe a victory gif if we can get through this run. See, it's deceptive. I feel like the truck goes slower when you're going backwards, but I don't know if that's just a perception.
Luckily, he had the coat to protect him from the biting cold. The cold seemed to be more brutal here than anywhere else. It seeped into bones and into every breath to get to the heart until it stopped. Carl needed to be dressed in warm clothes to survive.
No torch strap. Can't see. What you looking at? I feel better about jumping onto this bridge for no real reason. So, I don't think I have an axe. I feel like I should shoot this wolf. Sounds really harsh. But I don't want to get wounded for the
Another
fight
instance
later.
of this magic ice. What was this one doing? Lying on the ground, so afraid. The plot thickened like water into ice.
Yeah, I think the torch is for cowards.
He had been running in fear from something creeping towards him, against which he couldn't do anything, only to end up like this, petrified and cold.
Get out of the way. So I'm going to grab this diary. I'm going to grab some dynamite, but I'm going to ignore the gun, I think. No gun strap.
It seemed as
Might see
though
if I can
Regin
equip
had been
the-
ready to take up arms and slay people like Hamilton. Could he have committed murder for his cause? Who could have gotten killed in front of his very eyes? Carl suddenly felt observed.
Oh, that's
He was
what that
worried
says.
about a presence around him.
Oh, I've forgotten how to aim. Let's get rid of that. I think I prefer using an axe. So I've got to wait about here. And when the dust appears, I can run. So, now. If you run just too soon, it's an
No
an insta death.
can withstand the force of dynamite.
Can I just jump off here? No, I can't. I've tried that a few times. Won't stop me trying more. There might be an area around here I could jump. Might be worth investigating that. So we've got to find the truck again. There we go. Sort of go in a vague direction and wait until I see that sort of glitter. Nearly there. Carl is crawling. So, if anyone has played or seen Bloodborne, Willow is calling for the hunter right now by shaking some bells. Oh, I'm just being funny. She likes that. Right, I have to do quite a dramatic U-turn in a bit around a post, so that's fun. Over the bridge. loading. Right, so this turnip's coming up. Oh, no. No, I slowed down too much, and I might be slightly stuck. Yeah, so the theory there is that you turn left at the right point, and you get through the gap between the lamppost and the beginning of that fence. Right, there's a crashed car coming up. I'm going to park by it. Try not to run straight into the back of it like I always do. Oh, so close. I blame the loading. Right. So in this section of the game, you'd usually have a snowmobile that you made at Lamotte's. But we're just going to run.
Carl knew
And
why he
this
was
is the
so
reason you have to talk to all
He was
those
going back to
lovely
the realm of
visions.
visions. Carl had no issue recognizing the spirit-like figures, but he couldn't figure out what they wanted from him. The Phantom, freed of reality's shackles, vanished in the forest. Earlier, Carl had witnessed a tragedy that befell it. Another phantom disappeared in the wilderness. Carl had seen what happened to it, too. A third phantom gently faded away. Carl noticed that as the cursed villagers finally left reality, he could feel a sense of unburdening exuding from them in an almost intimate way. The last phantom, lost in solitude up until now, joined the others in the forest's darkness, free at last to enjoy an eternal, well-deserved slumber.
This is where the game would block you if you hadn't attained everything you needed.
Carl was only beginning to understand the horror which had struck his hood.
Sorry for blinding
He
everybody
understood
there.
that the dead were piling up and that he couldn't help them by himself. The road was clear for him. He needed to push further north and fast to find help.
Just running up that hill. Right, so we're gonna do the next split on the diary that we have to pick up. He's just refusing to run. There we go. I'm gonna light this campfire. Come on, Carl.
Another diary.
You can do it.
Carl felt like someone was trying to communicate with him. Or was it simply the result of happenstance? Carl had found what he was looking for. He needed to get back on the road.
Right, so we're gonna run to a torch. I might be able to do it without the torch, but it's pretty dark for you guys. Just gonna pick up the torch here. So what I just did then was I turned my flashlight off accidentally and crouched. So fast. So normally you'd follow a nice laid out path, but I am running through the woods in an attempt to find a camp. And then a route across the bridge. Coming up to it. Is it further up? There it is. Yeah, so I needed to be further right again. You get a little bit cold, but it's definitely quicker. And now we want to go sort of as straight as we can. I hope that's right. Have a cheeky look on my map. Okay, I need to straighten up a little bit. There we go. So, in theory, as the crow flies now.
It was so cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore.
We should be coming up to it. Yeah, here we go. Damp toes, oh noes. I love that. For anyone wondering, I have a secret chat going on here. For a friend who doesn't have Twitch yet, so. Right, come on.
2 more victims of this ice plague. Carl felt a chill down his
Coming up on
spine.
another split.
What if he was next? Carl felt the strong pull above vision overcome him. A young woman.
So now we've got a series of interactive cutscenes.
It looked like a simple hunting accident.
Three minutes left to finish for my PC world record.
There was Hamilton. Carl recognized him.
Yeah, my current record on PS4 is 44 minutes 23.
A major hunting accident.
But it's 39 minutes on PC.
The doctor examined the young woman.
I'd love to
But
know
death couldn't be overturned.
if anybody can actually make sense of what's going on, having only watched the speedrun.
She was dead. It was not the type of body you buried in a big ceremony in the village graveyard. It had to be hidden. No one could know about this.
This is quite a good rest for my thumb, actually.
The best way to do that was to have a simple-minded man bury the poor girl. Lamotte, the mechanic. The doctor denied the unfair death of the young woman, but Hamilton had him in his grip. Hamilton knew all of the poet's secrets and wouldn't hesitate to reveal them. I know all about your crimes, you little communist.
You know mine.
mine. What a sordid affair.
Yeah, when we're going fast, we don't need story. Yep. Those bottles look very
Carl
similar to what I'm
understood
drinking.
the ins and outs of the affair.
Oh,
A woman had been killed in an unfair accident.
Carl looks like he's going to
And a
pass
young
out.
warrior had damned himself to avenge her.
He was ready.
But Hamilton, the one responsible, had already been killed, and so the beast could not quench its thirst for vengeance. And now, recklessly, Carl had pulled the bolt from the beast's heart. A beast who was but a young free man lost without his fiancée.
And
who
run.
had, out of hatred, become
Wendigo.
Wendigo.
Oh. Are we all good? So I just had a black screen there, so I hope you're all still with me. Looking okay so far, I think. I'm just gonna have to keep going and hope for the best. I think the worst thing that could have happened would be that the game capture card disconnected, but let's hope that didn't happen. So in this section, I used to shoot all the wolves. Oh, but now I just listen out for audio cues. And I run as fast as Carl will go. Right, he's a little bit wounded now. Oh, yeah, I'm getting a bit slow here. Come on, buddy. Come on, Carl. Come on, buddy. Sometimes this doesn't feel like this is up to me. Sometimes this feels like it's up to Carl. You know? Oh! Everybody's still there. I had another cutout. Oh dear. Wait, we're coming up, we're coming up. Oh, I'm a little bit worried about my health. Got no health kits, so I can't heal myself here. Thanks for confirming that you're still here. Right, there's another wolf coming up, so if I can just avoid this one, we're in the clear. There we go. And I never know how many wolves are running behind me. That's going to make you try and get a world record, right? So this...
The narrow passage sheltered him, but for how long?
As far as I'm aware, this last section's fairly alright, so what we just need to do is jump at the correct time to slide down here. So I jumped a bit too high there. If you jump correctly, you can almost slide down. Saves a little bit of time.
His mouth tasted of death.
You've got this, Carl. You can do this. You got this, buddy. I love how I can motivate Carl and thus motivate myself. So, gotta not struggle with this gate. There we go. And it's time as soon as I get in the boat. Which is coming up. He got through there quite quickly, and... See ya later! Oh, there we go.
When you disappeared, so did Purity. I would defend Purity against the winds, the tides, against ice and blizzard. Could it be that all this was but a story of justice and vengeance?
There you go, guys.
The soulful doctor, avenging his fiancée's unjust death by
Story
avenging
of
this
justice
young
and
woman
vengeance.
as though she was his lover. Are these passionate feelings not precisely the kind of feelings that could cause a storm, petrify people deep inside, create monsters?